Hey guys, welcome to the littleBIGsynths YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to show you guys how to use the Arturia Keystep to sequence and control your synths at the same time. This is a pretty useful feature that works well with a single polyphonic or multi-voiced synth, such as the Roland JE06 that I have right here. But I think this feature really shines when using two synths, because you can sequence one while playing the other one live, as I demonstrated in the beginning of the video. But we'll go ahead and get into that setup just a little later. For now, let's go ahead and get started with a single synthesizer. Alright, so to get started with the setup, all we're going to need is a standard MIDI cable and connect it from the MIDI out of the Keystep into the MIDI in of the JE06. Next thing I'll want to do is make sure I have an empty sequence on the JE06, and I'll do that by enabling the sequencer mode and selecting the sequence that I want. And then I'll clear out all the steps from that sequence. So now when I press play on the Keystep, the sequencer of the JE06 will still run, but since it's an empty sequence, it won't interfere with the sequence of the Arturia Keystep. We'll then need to make sure that the JE06 and the Keystep are both set to the same MIDI channel. And we'll go ahead and check which channel the JE06 is set to first by exiting the sequencer mode and getting back into the patch mode. We can press and hold down the manual button while selecting step button number 2. Now we can see that the step button number 2 is flashing, letting us know that we are set to channel 2, but we can set it to any channel from 1 through 16 using any of the step buttons here. And then over here on the Keystep, all we have to do is press and hold the shift button and press down the key with the corresponding channel number above it. And for channel number 2 is this black key right here. So now that we have control of our synth, we can go ahead and create a sequence. Press record on the sequencer and input some notes. So by default, when pressing a key on the keyboard, it will transpose the sequence to the corresponding note. So we can enable the keyboard play function by pressing and holding the shift button and pressing the octave plus button. So as you just seen, and as I mentioned earlier, using a polysynth such as this JE06, you can really take advantage of the multiple voices by using the sequencer to sequence some of them and the keyboard to play their others. I'm going to go ahead and record another sequence just to further demonstrate this. So we've seen how the keyboard play function works with a single synth, but now I'm going to go ahead and bring in another synth so we can really take advantage of this really awesome feature. When using an external sequencer or keyboard, which typically only has a single MIDI out, you will need a way to connect to multiple devices. To do that, you can use a through box or MIDI splitter like this MIDI Solutions Quadra Through. It basically takes a single signal and splits it up to 4 ways. This is a great tool to have, especially when trying to control multiple synths that do not have MIDI through capabilities. But in this case, both the JU06 and SH01A are equipped with MIDI through, which makes setup much easier. So that means all we have to do is connect the JU06 MIDI out to the SH01A MIDI in. Alright, so we have the MIDI out of the Keystep going into the MIDI in of the JU06, and then the MIDI out of the JU06 into the MIDI in of the SH01A. So one of my favorite things about the Keystep is how quick and easy it is to switch and change between MIDI channels. All you have to do is press and hold the shift button, and then right over here on the keyboard, right above the keys here, you can see MIDI channels numbers from 1 through 16. And for example, if I have a device on channel 2, all I have to do is press this black key here for channel 2. If I have a device on 9, then I press this black key here for 9. And channel 8, this white key here for 8, and so on and so forth. Right now I have 2 synths set to 2 separate channels, starting with the SH01A on channel 1. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold the shift button and press the white key right here below the number 1. Great, now we'll go ahead and switch to the JU06, which is on channel 2. So again, press and hold the shift button, and the black key here for number 2. Alright, so moving on, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and sequence the SH01A while using the JU06 to play like live melody over the top of the sequence. Let's set the sequencer of the Keystep to channel 1 and then select a sequence slot that we wish to record our sequence to. Then I'll go ahead and do a quick audition. Now that I have a sound and an idea of the sequence, we'll go ahead and press record and input the sequence notes. And just to make things a little more interesting, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a Volca sample and sync it up to the Arturia Keystep for a little bit of drum action. Now during the playback of the sequence, we can go ahead and select the device that we wish to take control of. In this case, we want to take control of the JU06, which is set to channel 2. So to do that, we press and hold the shift button and the octave plus button together and select channel number 2, which is this black key. Now we can go ahead and play the JU06 live over the sequence.
And finally, the last thing I want to show you guys is how we can take that last example a little bit further by using the internal sequencer of the J06. And in this case, I have a little 4-step sequence that I recorded earlier that will play alongside with the Keystep sequencer during the playback of the jam. So let's go ahead and have a listen to that. So you can see how the Keystep can be a great center of a simple setup such as this one, where you got, you know, a couple synths and a drum machine maybe, and you want to play some keyboard or like live melodies over some previously recorded sequences.
Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video and found it somewhat useful and informative. Until next time guys, just stick around for more videos from littleBIGsynths.